أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على سيدنا ونبينا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الأطيبين الأنجبين بهم نتولى ومن أعدائهم نتبرأ إلى الله اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. We talked about أفضل الأعمال انتظار الفرج. That is, what is the meaning of intidhar and the applicables of waiting for the Imam. Does it mean that we just wait and we wait and we wait and for him to come, or there is an effort to be applied in this waiting? And quite a lot of applicables of that were mentioned from ayat and from riwayat. One of the other things that we learn in this waiting and this intidhar is that we have to be large in what we desire, in what we ask Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. The aims of ours, they should be the aims of the Imam alayhi salam. What we want from him is what he wants from Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And it's what we will, inshallah, in this forthcoming month of Ramadan, every day in dua iftitah we will recite, inshallah. And there says that Allahumma inna narghabu ilayka fi dawlatin karima, that God, we desire in that dawlat, in that rule, which is the generous rule, the benevolent rule of the Imam. What do we want? Fi dawlatin karima tu'izzu biha al-islam wa ahlah. The first thing is that a rule in which Islam and Muslims will be honored. A rule wherein Imam, he invites towards goodness, and Imam, he forbids from doing wrong. So also I, who is waiting for the Imam alayhi salatu wasalam, my desires also should be large, just like what Imam wants from Allah, just like what he performs, the Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. I should be doing the same in this era of ghaibat and here in this era of waiting for the Imam alayhi salam. Now if we look into Quran, the story of Prophet Musa and Fir'aun, now Allah gives him an assignment, and the assignment is huge, it's big. That is, go and talk to Fir'aun. Now Fir'aun is someone who has stood against God. He is someone who claims to be the God, and someone who has killed so many people just to be safe from the appearance of Musa. But Musa appears. Now Allah says, Musa, idhab ila Fir'aun innahu tagha. Go to Fir'aun, go to the Pharaoh, as he has rebelled. Now here, when Allah gives him an assignment, there is a list of things that Prophet Musa asks Allah and says, God, I'll do the assignment, but to better perform, I need a few things from you. And then he starts listing what he wants. Says, Qal, Rabbi shrah li sadri. Allah, give me an open breast. Meaning that when I go there and I start speaking to him and he speaks to me in a way, or he gives out some statements which get on my nerves and I would get angry. So Allah, give me an ability that I be able to tolerate that Fir'aun. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. And then says, God, make this task of mine easy. You make it easy. And then says, because there is a hitch in my tongue, wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Why is that you want me to remove the hitch from my tongue so that they understand me better? And then says, not only that, O God, وَجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي. I need an aid, I need someone to help me in this task. And that is from my family. Who is that? Says, Harun akhi, my brother Harun. And then says, Ushdud bi azri, that strengthen my back through my brother Harun, and then says, why do I want all of this from you, God? وَاشْرِكْهُ فِي أَمْرِي, I want him to be the partner in this task of mine. Why do I want that? كَيْ نُسَبِّحَكَ كَثِيرًا, so that we can glorify you better, a lot. وَنُذَكِّرُكَ كَثِيرًا, and that we remember you a lot. إِنَّكَ كُنْتَ بِنَا بَصِيرًا, and God, you know us and you can see us better. Now he asks a list of things from Allah for that one assignment that Allah gives him, that go to Fir'aun, innahu tagha, speak to him. Now with this list of items that Prophet Musa asks Allah, Allah also says, قال قد أوتيت سؤلك يا موسى, Musa, whatever you asked, I've given them to you. وَلَقَدْ مَنَنَّا عَلَيْكَ مَرَّةً أُخْرَى, yet again we have favored you another time. We have done another favor upon you another time. So that is what we have to ask Allah. That is what we want from him. It shouldn't be as all these never-ending hopes which would never materialize. Ask things that are genuine. And we talked on this, I think, in the second or the third talk. And it's what we ask Allah Ta'ala after 30 days of worshipping and observing fast. We say that أسألك أن تدخلني في كل خير أدخلت فيه محمدا وآل محمد, that Allah, I ask you to enter me into every good that you entered Muhammad and Al Muhammad, and you oust me and you take me out from every wrong, every evil that you have taken Muhammad and Al Muhammad out of it, kept them away from it. Now we see that a similar dua is there, that when Allah Ta'ala gives an assignment to Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, here Prophet Muhammad, he says that Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says that Allahumma inni as'aluka, Allah, I ask you, bima sa'alaka akhi Musa an tashraha li sadri, just like what my brother Musa asked from you, that you give me an open breast, wa an tuyassira li amri, and that you ease my task, وَأَن تَحُلَّ عُقْدَةً مِّن لِسَانِي, and that you remove the hitch from my tongue, يَفْقَهُ قَوْلِي, so that they can better understand me. Now he says, وَاجْعَلْ لِي وَزِيرًا مِّنْ أَهْلِي, I want you to make a wazir, a minister, an aide for me from my family. And who is that? عَلِيًّا أَخِي, Ali, my brother. And then says, make him strong, and so that he could be a partner in my tasks. Why do I want all of this? So that كَيْ نُسَبِّحَكَ كَثِيرًا, so that we could glorify you a lot, and that we could remember you a lot. إِنَّكَ كُنْتَ بِنَا بَصِيرًا, and indeed you see us, and you know us, and you see us better. Now this is the desire that Amirul Mu'minin Rasulullah has from Allah, just like Prophet Musa had from Allah. And we also have to be large in what we ask Allah Jalla wa'ala from him. Now this dua that I just recited, that Rasulullah desired, is reported from the Ahl Sunnah sources, and they have mentioned this. This question is asked quite a lot, that as to whether the name of Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam has been mentioned in Quran. The reply is that the name of the Imam has not been mentioned, but there are so many ayat in many surahs: Al Imran, Tawbah, Saf, Hud, Yusuf, Yunus, Sad, Hujurat, Mursalat, Nazi'at, Fajr, Baqarah, Alaq, and many other. And so many ayat are there in which the tafsir that has been mentioned by the Ma'asumeen alayhim salam, that points out at the Imam alayhi salam, at Imam al-Asr. One of those, I'll just mention two of those ayat. One of them is in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 248. There Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala says, وَقَالَ لَهُمْ نَبِيُّهُمْ إِنَّ آيَةَ مُلْكِهِ أَن يَأْتِيَكُمُ التَّابُوتُ. That is, the Prophet said to them, indeed the sign of this kingship is that Allah, that shall be that مُلْكِهِ أَن يَأْتِيَهُمُ التَّابُوتُ, that he will have a trunk, an ark. فيه سكينة, there will be tranquility in it, من ربكم, from your Lord. وبقية مما ترك آل موسى, and the remains, bearing all the remains from what has been left behind by Prophet Musa, وآل Harun, and the descendants of Harun. تجمله الملائكة تحمله الملائكة, and the angels, they will be carrying it. إن في ذلك لآية لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. Indeed, there are signs in that for you if you are faithful. Now, what is mentioned over here regarding this tabut, or that trunk, that Imam Mahdi alayhi salatu wasalam is the inheritor of all the angels, waris of all the angels. Now, if you, today is Thursday, and when you recite Ziyarat Waris, and you say Assalamu alayk ya waritha Adam safwatillah, ya waritha Nuhin nabiyillah, ya waritha Musa kalimillah, that is, you are addressing Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, who has inherited from Prophet Adam, from Prophet Ibrahim, from Prophet Nuh, from Prophet Musa. He has inherited from all of them. What has he inherited? Now, when you see that there is a task that a father has not performed during his life, so it is mandatory and wajib upon the son to continue, to complete it after him. Like, for example, if there were some prayers that a father had not offered them, so the son has to make them up on behalf of the father. It is wajib on him. Likewise, fast, likewise, Hajj. And this mas'ala now, which is floating quite a lot on the social media, that if there are fasts that were not observed by the father, and the son or the children, they cannot do it, then you can pay it off by paying some sadaqah, some wheat and some flour, and then you don't need to observe the fast. That is wrong. That is totally wrong. It's one of these confusions that are being promoted on the social media. So if there is a fast outstanding from the father, the children, they have to do it. They must fulfill it. So when we say Assalamu alayk ya waritha Adam safwatillah, there were tasks, they were incomplete, they were not completed by Prophet Adam, that went on and on. There, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, he completed them. There were tasks, they were left undone by Prophet Ibrahim, by Prophet Musa, by Prophet Isa, by Rasulullah, by Amir al-Mu'mineen. And there were some tasks and affairs which did not materialize by Hazrat Zahra salamullahi alayha or Hazrat Khadija alayha salam. We say that is Waritha Nuhin Nabiyullah, Waritha Muhammadin Habibillah, Waritha Aliyin Waliyullah. All of that were done and completed by Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. So he inherits so much from all of the prophets. So by inheritance, it is not only gold and silver, money and all that. Even the tasks that were undone were done by Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. Likewise, there were tasks that were undone by all of the other imams, and likewise there are tasks which are still remaining that were not done by the prophets. They will be completed by Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam. Now here in this ayah, when it says وَبَقِيَّةٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ آلُ مُوسَى, so Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is the waris of all of the prophets, waris of all of the imams, and he will bring some of the inheritances and he will present some of them to the followers, to those who are faithful to, for example, Prophet Musa and Isa. So they have doubts and they have confusions. Now, for those doubts to be removed, he will present and show them, for example, the asa, the stick of Prophet Musa, or the other miracles that were shown by the other prophets. They will be presented by the Imam alayhi salam, and people, upon seeing these miracles, they will submit to the Imam alayhi salam. Now, one of the other ayat that we have in Quran is هو الذي, and in Surah Al-Fath, هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله. It is He, the Almighty Allah, who has sent His Rasul with guidance, ودين الحق, and a right and a true religion, ليظهره على الدين كله, so that it prevails over the religion, over all of the religions. This will be that one manifest religion, كله وكفى بالله شهيدا. So when he has said that it is that deen which is going to prevail, it is that religion which is going to overcome and override everyone else, it has not happened. So when will that happen? It will happen via and by the hand of Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam, wa kafa billahi shahida. That is regarding that question that as to whether or not the name of the Imam, the name hasn't been mentioned directly, but all of these ayat, they point out at Imam al-Asr alayhi salam, and that has been mentioned by the Ma'sumin. And Ma'sumin also, their statements are like the ayat of Quran. That is, Imam al-Ma'sum, whatever he says is haqq. Now, the title was, topic was Intidhar al-Faraj, waiting for the relief of the Imam alayhi salam. Now, in one of the companions of sixth Imam alayhi salam, Abdullah bin Ata is his name. He says that I asked Imam al-Sadiq about the seerah, the way, the style, the performance of Imam al-Asr, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam, how will it be? Imam in reply says, Yasna'u kama sana'a Rasulullah, that he would perform just like Rasulullah, whatever he did. Then Imam continues saying, Yahdimu ma kana qablahu kama hadama Rasulullah. He will destroy all that was before him, just like Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam destroyed from the remains of Jahiliyyah. Now, destruction over here doesn't mean that he's going to take a bulldozer and just knock down everything. No. Destruction means all these wrong beliefs and faiths and understandings and followings and things that people have been observing, all of that will be destroyed. Not that a place there was a person who has committed a sin, that place will be knocked down. No. Places, entity, or industries, you could say, of shirk and fasad and corruption, they will be destroyed by the Imam, and whatever was from the remains of Jahiliyyah was removed and destroyed by the Prophet. Likewise, Imam will do the same. And then he says that وَيَسْتَأْنِفُ الْإِسْلَامِ جَدِيدًا. Yastanif means he will reintroduce or renew introducing Islam. Or some of these statements, they say that يَأْتِي بِدِينٍ جَدِيدٍ, that he will bring a new religion. Not that a new religion is being brought by the Imam. No, it's exactly the same religion that was brought forth by the Holy Prophet, where he says that halalu Muhammadin halalun ila yawmil qiyamah and haramuhu haramun ila yawmil qiyamah. Whatever Rasulullah has made halal is halal until the day of judgment, and whatever he has said haram is haram until the day of judgment. So nothing new he will introduce. What has happened is that over the passage of time, people, they have forgotten. People, they haven't been observing, they haven't been practicing. Now, we have seen, I've seen quite a lot here in some of these communities when they invited, and when I speak to them, they said, yeah, we do offer prayers once a day. That what they have understood from prayer is just once a day. Because there was a passage of time, generations who were away from mosques, generation like, for example, in Russia, in Afghanistan, for 60-70 years, Tabligh was not allowed because of Russian rule, and then the Taliban's force, and then people, they were moved from one part of the world to the other part. And like those Muslims who were Muslims living in Russia for 70, 80, 90 years, no Tabligh. For them, maybe it's the Azan which is known and recognized as Islam. More than that, they don't know, because there wasn't any Tabligh, any propagation. So they were Muslims, but because of these influences or all these wars and attacks and everything, hindrances that took place in their lifetime, so they were removed, or they were distanced from Deen. So as a practice now, as a norm now, 60-70 years have passed away, and if you tell them, they don't know. They think what is with them of Islam is what is Islam. In reality, all that passage of time due to which they have forgotten for not practicing, that also, that's what will be introduced by the Imam. So when it says that the deen will be renewed, all that has been forgotten by man, even there are so many things. When we look back into our own time and a post-Islamic revolution, deen that has been introduced amongst the Muslim is totally different. And in those days, people, they used to, prior to the Islamic revolution, they used to think that wearing a beard is only wajib on some of the ulama, because all of the ulama also, because those who were using the minbar and the podium, some of them did not have these, did not wear beards. With my marhum dad, a few years ago, I went to some place, we went to some city. And then, because my father, he was fond of mosques, wherever he used to go, he used to find a mosque to offer prayers there. So we went to the mosque in that city, and the Imam who led the prayers, he offered the prayers, and then we also had to come back. So once he had done with he was done with the prayers, offered the prayers, what he did is that he took his aba off and hung it on that hanger that was by the mihrab, and then he took his beard off. So that beard that he was wearing was a fake beard, just like these wigs that they wear. He took it off and he hung it by the aba, and then he went out of the mosque. So he also wasn't wearing a beard. So these things, they have improved, especially after the Islamic revolution. Or, for example, the concept of hijab, how it has to be worn. So that the understanding in many parts of the world was that in the streets, when you are outdoors, out of the house, you have to be covered. Indoors, even everyone in the street, they come home, then that hijab doesn't apply. So all these silly rules were there as a result of lack of information, lack of tabligh, lack of understanding, and all of that has been corrected over the passage of time, and it will be corrected and put right by the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam, where he says that وَيَسْتَأْنِفُ الْإِسْلَامِ جَدِيدًا, he will renew introducing Islam. So intizar means to work hard to achieve the rida and the contentment of the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. Intizar means to fix and to achieve his satisfaction. It was mentioned the other day that what we read in Dua Nudba, وَارْزُقْنَا رَأْفَتَهُ وَرَحْمَتَهُ, that Allah grant us His kindness, and His mercy. So intizar means that you think of the world to be large, and then it was mentioned that there were these Jews who used to say that we are the ones who have the most ancient religion, and the Muslims, they also used to show off our proud, saying that we have the most perfect religion. So there an ayah is revealed, says all these slogans, they are fitna. Says لَيْسَ بِأَمَانِيِّكُمْ, it will neither be after your hopes nor the hopes of the people of the books, وَلَا لِأَمَانِيِّ أَهْلِ الْكِتَابِ, but all these are hopes and talks that you are saying. That what is right is that what Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala has revealed, and be large, take everyone on board. Now, one of the other things that we see regarding intizar, and when you see the assignments given to the Imam alayhi salam, Imam says, I am rising to establish Quran globally. Quran is abandoned today, or that much of an importance that should be given to Quran, it is not being given. So that Quran rules. Imam's arrival and return will be so that Quran rules, Quran is established. And these riwayat, they say that one of the initial assignments that Imam will have is that he will set up camps, salat camps and Quran camps. That is, people, they are made to people, they learn Quran, and the Quran is educated to them. Salat prayers are educated to them. And one of these hadiths that we have regarding the importance of learning Quran, Imam as-Sadiq alayhi salam says that someone who did not learn Quran whilst he was alive, علم في قبره, Quran will be taught to him in his grave. So in the grave, in his barzakh, there will be these Quran classes, and he will be taught the Quran. And when he learns Quran, and there he will come to know that what a beautiful gem, what a great gem he had disregarded whilst he was alive. If you recall your memories, it was mentioned in the first few sessions. We talked about Marhum Ayatollah Sheikh Hassan Ali Isfahani and how he was blessed with ilm and knowledge, and that was in the haram of Imam Askari alayhi salatu wassalam. Now Marhum Ayatollah Isfahani, he is buried in Mashhad. He says that I tried a lot to meet the Imam of age, and many of these observances that I knew, I observed all of them, but I was never blessed with the desire that I had, and that was to meet the Imam of age alayhi salam. Says one night I was informed in my dreams that as long as that habit of mine is in me and is not removed, I will not be blessed with this wish of mine and with this desire, and I will not meet the Imam. Now what that is, that flaw in him was, it hasn't been reported, it hasn't been mentioned. Now he says that if you want to see the Imam, you have to fix yourself, correct this wrong that is in you, and then you will see. I woke up, I repented. He says, I corrected myself, I locked myself in a room and occupied and worship and the recitation of the Holy Quran. Later it came to my mind that why should I lock up in this room? Let me stay away from everyone in the wilderness. And I then onwards was away and occupied in understanding the glorious Quran, its recitation, pondering into the ayat of Quran, and hours every day I used to spend only on the Holy Quran. And I tuned all of my aqaid and my faith and my belief that I have with the Quran. I measured everything with the Quran. And then says that I was reciting this holy book one day, and I heard a caller say to me, recite musabbihat. If you want to be blessed with meeting the Imam alayhi salam, recite the musabbihat every day, and recite Surat Isra on Thursday night, after which I will come to take you to Baqiyatullah al-Azam Imam al-Asr alayhi salatu wassalam. I got happy and I started reciting these musabbihat. Musabbihat are the surahs in Quran that start with Sabbaha, Yusabbihu or Subhan. So there are 6 surahs. Now there is a difference of opinion over here among the ulama. Some of them say that Musabbihat, there are 6. Among them is Ayatullah Qazi Tabatabai, Ayatullah Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai, the author of Tafsir al-Mizan, and also Ayatollah al-Uzma Jawadi Amuli. These 3 great ulama, they are of the opinion that Musabbihat, there are 6. Now which surahs are these Musabbihat? It is Suratul Hadid, Hashr, Saf, Jumu'ah, Taghabun and A'la. These are the 6 surahs that are Musabbihat. Now among the other opinions that we have, they say that Suratul Subhanalladhi Asra, Suratul Isra, that is also among the Musabbihat, and that is the opinion of Allama Majlisi. Ayatollah al-Uzma Makarim Shirazi says Musabbihat, there are 5, that is Hadid, Hashr, Saf, Jumu'ah and Taghabun. So not A'la. Well, anyway, Surah Al-A'la is just 5 ayat, and if you were to recite the Musabbihat Sitta, that is the 6 Musabbihat, offer them, recite them every day. And then on a Thursday night, Suratul Isra. Suratul Isra to be recited on a light night like tonight, and the others to be recited every day. And then he says that I started reciting these surahs every day. And the hadith from Imam Baqir alayhi salam states that Man qara'a al-musabbihat kullaha qabla an yanam. Someone who recites these musabbihat before he sleeps, before he goes to bed, lam yamut, he will not die, hatta yudrik al-qa'im, he will not die, but that he perceives the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. وَإِن مَاتَ, and if he does die, كَانَ فِي جَوَارِ مُحَمَّدٍ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. He will be in the association and with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the vicinity, in the neighborhood of Rasulullah. So regarding Surah Al-Isra, reciting on Thursday, Imam Baqir and Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that one who recites Surah Al-Isra on a Thursday night will not die, but that he has perceived the presence of Imam and will be among the supporters of the Imam alayhi salam. Now here, Marhum Shaykh Hassan Ali Isfahani, he says, I recited the Musabbihat every day and Surah Al-Isra on a Thursday night, and on the 40th day the caller came to me and said to me, come. And we walked a bit, and he says to me, go up the hill and you will meet the Imam alayhi salam. He says that I walked a little bit and soon I met the Imam alayhi salam. That is a presence engulfed in Noor that cannot be described, the beauty, the Noor of the Imam alayhi salam. And he said to me, if you want to meet me, our next meeting will be in the shrine of Imam Rida alayhi salam, my grandfather. He couldn't wait to avail that trip and travel to Mashhad, and he says that I cried a lot there and avail this journey to Mashhad, and I come and perform a ghusl and enter the sacred shrine of Ali ibn Musa Rida alayhi salatu wassalam, the Sultan of Tus, and I saw the Imam alayhi salam standing by the head of the Dharih of Imam Rida alayhi salam. And then I met the Imam, I spoke to him, and then Imam says to me, our next meeting will be in Karbala by the Dharih of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein in Karbala. And then he vanished. And I cried a lot. I cried so much that everyone around me, they gathered around me, but then I controlled myself so that no one finds out that what it was and what happened, and I came to my senses. Then he says that I stayed in Mashhad for 10 days and then set off to Karbala, and the journey lasted about 2 months. I performed a ghusl, I entered the sacred shrine of Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salatu wassalam, and I saw the Imam of age there. I fell on his feet. And I fell on his feet and I said, Imam said to me, what is your wish? What is your haja? I said that I want to be able to see you wherever you are, wherever you be. Imam replied that if you intend to see me, recite the ayat 21 to 24 of Surah Al-Hashr. Surah Al-Hashr is one of the Musabbihat. Now this 21 until the end is لو أنزلنا هذا القرآن على جبل لرأيته خاشعا متصدعا من خشية الله, until the end of the surah. 3 ayat, 3-4 ayat. Imam says you recite those ayat and then recite dua ahad Allahumma rabban nur al-azim wa rabban kursi al-rafi'a, and then you will be able to meet me, see me. So this is regarding importance to Quran, reciting Quran, and how much of a benefit that Quran has. And Imam alayhi salam, he is also Idl al-Quran, meaning that he is the Sharik of Quran. When we recite in those ziyarat, Assalamu alayka ya Sharik al-Quran, the partner of Quran, the Sharik of Quran. So to Quran a lot of importance has to be given, especially in this pandemic and in this lockdown. That recite Quran as much as you can, especially in this forthcoming month of Ramadan. Don't just suffice to the one recitation of one Quran. Recite as much as it is possible. Now, when we look into the riwayat from Rasulullah, I'll quote you one or two here. One of them says, قال كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم لا ينام حتى يقرأ المسبحات. Rasulullah, he did not sleep, but that he had recited these musabbihat. And then says وَيَقُولْ إِنَّ فِيهِنَّ آيَةٌ كَأَلْفِ آيَةٍ, says that in these 6 surahs that you will recite, he says there is one ayah which equals 1,000 ayat. It equals 1,000 ayat. And then he explains to you what are these surahs, and then says من قرأ المسبحات كلها قبل أن ينام لم يمت حتى يدرك القائم. That is, someone who recites these surahs, he will not die, but that he perceives and he will see and meet the Imam alayhi salatu wassalam. Now, Quran complains, Rasulullah complains, in fact, in the Holy Quran. He says that قال الرسول, the ayah of Quran says this, that Ya Rab, إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا, that God, my people, they have abandoned this Quran. And truly speaking, we have abandoned this Quran. Now, what is this Quran? It's the glorious book, the word of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Now, all this, it's a lesson to me and to you, brothers and sisters. It's a reminding. It was Marhum Ayatullah Shaykh Hassan Ali Isfahani. The hadith from the Holy Prophet. Now, the time that we are in, it's the time which has the most fitnas we see left and right, every part of the world. There is some kind of a conspiracy, some kind of a fitna, and there are so many tests that we are all going through. Says فَإِذَا الْتَبَسَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْفِتَنِ. So when you find that you have been surrounded by fitnas, كَقِطَعِ اللَّيْلِ الْمُظْلِمِ, like a pitch dark night, فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِالْقُرْآنِ. So what you do is that عَلَيْكُمْ بِالْقُرْآنِ, that you recite the Holy Quran. You get help from the Holy Quran whenever it is possible, whenever you feel disturbed. Rasulullah says alaykum bil Quran, alaykum bil Quran. That is, alaykum means upon you be Quran. This is a command which is mandatory, wajib, fa alaykum bil Quran. And then he says فَإِنَّهُ شَافِعٌ مُشَفَّعٌ مَاحِلٌ مُصَدَّقٌ وَمَنْ جَعَلَهُ أَمَامَهُ قَادَهُ إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. And this Quran, it is your shafi'ah. It will intercede for you. It will bail you out. It will help you out. If you place the Quran in front of you, before you, it will take you to the heaven. If you put the Quran behind you, it will take you to the hell. وَهُوَ الدَّلِيلُ يَدُلُّ عَلَى خَيْرِ سَبِيلٍ. This Quran, it is that evidence which takes you to the best of paths. فَظَاهِرُهُ حُكْمٌ بَاطِنُهُ عِلْمٌ. This Quran, the ayat that you recite, it's all commands, it's all wisdom. And the interior of that Quran is ilm, it's knowledge, it's science. And then says, you say, the zahiruhu aniqun, batinuhu amiqun, that you see Quran, it looks simple, but it is deep. In that hadith says that every ayah has 70 ayat embedded in it, and every ayat which is below in the meaning of that, then you find that there are so many other doors that open. So Quran, it is that guidance min al-dhalala wa tibyanun min al-ama. If you want cure, it is from Quran. If you want guidance, it is from Quran. And how much Quran do you recite? Quran says فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. How much it is, however much is possible for you, recite. If you can recite 1 juz every day. If you can recite 3 juz every day. Now if you look into the seerah of the noble ones, we'll go to Imam Khomeini. Now that what has been recorded from him, on 7-8 intervals every day he used to recite Quran. That much of an importance he gives to Quran, and in his last days he says that I wish I had invested more on the Holy Quran. So after someone who has been so successful in his life, and in the last days of his life, he says that I should have invested more in the Quran. So, قال Rasulullah Ya Rab, the Holy Prophet says, my nation, they have abandoned Quran. Now, why have they abandoned? Quran now is used for protection, for safety, for traveling, or someone is traveling, you just bring the Quran and let him go under the Quran so that he is safe. Or we spend so much of time for we spend so much of time is used for safety and security, or we spend so much of money to get the most beautiful Quran to be given to the bride, and then the Khatm Quran also without having any attention to what it means. And even worse than that is that the Quran is totally absent from the lives of Muslims. Recitation also, that also lacks, and it's got so many hiccups in it. So everything we see that it's just become superficial and just something that has to be done. Now 7-8 intervals that he used to recite Quran in the morning before Fajr, and then after his Salatul Layl, and before Salatul Zuhr, and before Namaz Maghrib, and every few hours he used to recite that Quran in all these different intervals. Now Quran also says, now here Rasulullah complains that they abandoned Quran. Quran also complains on the Day of Judgment, says يقول المصحف يا رب حرقوني مزقوني ويقول المسجد يا رب عطلوني. Quran would say that God, they burnt me, they destroyed me. Masjid would say they abandoned me, they ruined me. And Aitrat, that is the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, they would say that they would complain, they killed me, they alienated me, they isolated me, they dispersed us all, and I then will kneel on my knees and wait for the divine decree on the Day of Judgment. The Almighty will say to me that I am more deserving, and I will judge for this animosity myself. So Quran will complain, Rasulullah will complain, Ahlul Bayt will complain, a masjid will complain. So we have to fix ourselves, we have to correct ourselves, so that at least they don't complain for us, they don't stand against us. Quran has to be recited a lot. فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. That is, recite whatever is possible, however much you can. And zikr of Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, it has to be a lot. If you see that desire of Prophet Musa and Harun that was mentioned, that God, when he says go to Fir'aun, he says, okay, give me a tongue that doesn't have a hitch, give me an open breast, give me an aid like Harun, and give me my brother, and help me in this task. Why is that? كَيْ نُسَبِّحُكَ كَثِيرًا, so that we could glorify you a lot, we could remember you a lot. So Quran is also to be recited a lot. That zikr kathir is the Quran that we have to recite a lot. Now in another report here, Ya Sa'd, ta'allamul Quran, it says that you educate Quran, learn Quran, teach Quran. فإن القرآن يأتي يوم القيامة في أحسن سورة. That Quran will emerge and appear on the Day of Judgment in the best of forms. نظر إليها الخلق, when people will look at Quran, and people will look at the Quran. والناس صفوف, and people will be in large numbers in all these rows. How many rows? Says مئة ألف صف, says عشرون ومئة ألف صف, 120,000 rows, thousand people in rows will be there, and people in them. Ummatu Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, says that from them 80,000 rows will be the nation of Rasulullah, and the remaining 40,000 will be the nations of all other prophets. Says everyone will be there in 120,000 rows in sufuf on the Day of Judgment. Now here Quran will appear before the large congregation, that is the congregation of the Muslim, which is 80,000 rows. They say that Quran, when it appears in this form, in the form of a man, before the congregation of the Muslims, Quran will greet them with the salam, and they will look at Quran and say, La ilaha illallah al-Halim al-Kareem, upon the beauty of the Quran. They don't know what that is yet. Now then these Muslims, they would say that we know him, the attributes, because he strived a lot for Quran more than us, and he has acquired such a lofty rank and has such an enlightened form, and will pass by the Muslims and then stand before the Shuhada. Shuhada, when they see the beauty of Quran, they would say, La ilaha illallah Ar-Rabbur Rahim. This man is from us, but not like us, way better than us. The virtues, the attributes that this man carries, they are far more than us. He is a shaheed better than us. He has acquired a rank loftier than us. Then Quran passes from this crowd of shuhada and comes to the Anbiya. 124,000 prophets minus the Holy Prophet comes and stands before the Anbiya. And the Anbiya, when they see such beauty in this presence, in this man, they were amazed. And all of them, they say La, they are all amazed and they say La ilaha illallah al-Halim al-Kareem. That is La ilaha illallah al-Halim al-Kareem, the tolerant and the generous, the giving. Now, they also don't know who this is. They come to the Holy Prophet and they say the qualities that he carries, they are way better than us. And we know that they are the attributes of the prophets. They are way better than us. The rank he has is way loftier than us. Who is he? Ya Rasulullah, Ya Muhammad, man hadha? Here Rasulullah says that is, you want to know who he is? No one recognizes him, no one knows him. Now here, riwayat, they say that this Quran that will appear on the Day of Judgment will be the batin of Amirul Mu'mineen Ali alayhi salatu wassalam and the Imams. That is the interior of the Imam alayhi salam, batin of Imam alayhi salam. And there that shafa'at will start, and you will see that how much of a shafa'at, of an intercession, of a mediation will be given and bestowed to people on the Day of Judgment as a result of the Imam of the Quran alayhi salam. So Quran, importance has to be given to it a lot, and especially in these days we have to do a lot of recitation. Understanding this glorious book shouldn't be as such that it would be a means that it would complain for us in the hereafter. May Allah Jalla wa Ala help us understanding these glorious. And even there's another hadith here says that initially when Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala He created everything, then He Lamma Amar Allah, when He created the ayat of Quran. Now these ayat that we are talking about are Suratul Hamd, Ayatul Kursi, and some of the ayat from Surah Al Imran 18 and 19, 27 and 28. That says that Allah, He created and He called them, and then says to these ayat that I want you to descend to the earth. Ta'allaqna ila al-arsh. Says the moment Allah said descend to the earth, they clung and they got hold of the arsh of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, and they said, Ila ayna tahbituna, where do you want to send us, O God? Ila ahl al-khataya wal-dhunub, to the wrongdoers, to the sinners. Do you want to send us to them? Allah says, yes, descend, go. And then He says that from among the nation of my Habib Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, whosoever recites you after every wajib prayers, whatever they want will be given to them, and because of you that will be recited by them after their wajib prayers, says I would look at them 70 times every day, and every day, every time when I look at them, 70 of their hajat will be fulfilled. That is by reciting Suratul Hamd, Ayatul Kursi, and some of these ayat from Al Imran. I'll post them there. Ayat number 18, 19, 27 and 28 from Al Imran. And they are easy ayat. You can do them easily, recite them. And then here you see that in the inception you find these ayat, they are descending to this dunya. And in the end, on the Day of Judgment, you see them ascend. First it's the crowd of the Muslims, then it's the crowd of the Shuhada, then it's the crowd of the Anbiya, and it comes, and there they say that no, belongs to a group which is higher and loftier than us. And then they find out that as it had descended initially from the Arsh to this earth, it starts ascending from the earth again back to the Arsh, and from there it starts mediating, and that Shafaat starts. May Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala, by the ayat of Quran and by the month of Quran which is fast approaching, this pandemic, this bala that has unfolded upon humanity, remove it, and Allah hasten in the return of the Imam alayhi salam, count us all among the best of his servants and those who seek shahadat in his service. All those who are ill and ailing, Allah grant them shifa. All those who have passed away, especially recently due to this waba and bala, Allah forgive them, elevate their ranks, and our ancestors, our parents, our loved ones, whosoever has passed away, and all those who are in need of hajat and whatever problems they may be having, Allah sort them out, ease them out for every one of them. Wa'ajjil fi faraji Maulana Sahib al-Zaman. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer.